I'm going to be talking about this. Oh my God. Oh my God. So bad. I'm going to be talking about this topic. It's a very controversial topic, but I do want to get into this because I have an opinion on this one. Obviously, I'm going to be a bit biased, maybe according to some people, but I actually believe that brown people are like the best people when it comes to the achievements, when it comes to, but I'm not gonna, you know what? I'm gonna try to be very unbiased. I'm gonna try to actually, I'm gonna try to do my research. I've got Google in front of me, so I want to see like, um, okay. According to Google, by the way, there's no best race. Such a concept is inappropriate, as all individuals deserve to be treated with respect and dignity, regardless of their background. Science and evolution perspectives show that human populations have adapted to different environment over 4 billion years of evolution, resulting in unique characteristics rather than a hierarchical ranking. Human adaptation. Different populations have developed specialized traits over thousands of years due to the environmental pressures, such as the Bajau people's adaptation of free diving or specific genetic adaptations to climate. Physical differences. You have the research into athletic performance often highlights differences in the body types and muscle composition, such as East African populations excelling in distance running or other groups having advantages in strength. But these are adaptations rather than superiorities. Yo, Sukuna, how's it going, bro? Yeah, I do remember you actually. I do remember you. Do you have any opinions on the topics that we're talking about today? I do remember we were talking about like UFC last time, I guess. Was it PFL? Okay, in terms of humanoids, some fantasy lower ranks, races based on specific traits such as elves for defense or dwarves for mining, but in reality, such comparisons do not apply to humans. All right, I mean, AI is giving me a very diplomatic answer. AI is not telling me. I'm just asking AI. AI just told me which race is the best, and AI is just telling me you have to be respectful. There's no criteria to judge. When I am a judgmental person, I want to judge people. Best is subjective and depends entirely on whether you're talking about sports, games, or human biology. Here's a breakdown of the top contenders across different categories. If you're looking for the most prestigious or exciting competitions, dude, I just came back from work to be honest, and I'm doing a bit of looks maxing. Just gotta look good in front of the camera. Maybe that's why. The Grand National Horse Racing, often cited as the ultimate test for horse and jockey, run at Antry Rain Course since 1839. Mm, you know what? Let me just get into the science of race. Science of race. Modern science considers human race a social construct rather than biological reality, a genetic variation in continuous and does not fall into distinct, discrete groups. Yeah, that's always the motive, bro. That's always the motivation, to be honest. Doesn't matter where we're going, to be honest. And does not fall into distinct, discrete groups. So while early 18th to 19th centuries, science attempted to classify humans into races. By the way, which country are you from again? Like, where are you living again? I think it's like one of the European countries, right? Where you're living, if I can remember correctly. While early 18th to 19th century science attempted to classify humans into races based on physical traits, modern genetics has shown that internal variation of internal variation within the populations is greater than between them. That is kind of true, by the way. Russia, oh Russia, yeah. Russia's great, man. Russia's great. By the way, when it comes to the topic of the race, there are some races actually. So, like white itself is not like one race. Black itself is not a race. There's different African American races. There's different European races. And when you talk about like the differences between those races, you can have people from like Sweden, and they might have some of the similarities, more similarities with some of the African towns than some of the other white people in other races. That is pretty true as well. I read that somewhere. Biologically, there is no evidence to support splitting humans into different races. Human ancestry is characterized by shared traits, and what are commonly called races are actually recent geographic adaptations in skin tone and facial features, not deep separate biological divisions. Yeah, I don't think it tampers with the DNA, to be honest. I think it's only one genetic, like what is it called, melanin? Melanin. That's the only gene that you have that causes the skin color. I don't think there's anything else. Okay, we're reading the genetic evidence. Only a tiny fraction of human DNA accounts for visible differences like skin color or hair texture. Genetic studies have consistently failed to find boundaries marking off conventional race categories. Mm. Historical scientific racism. Historically, scientists like Carolus Linnaeus, four category classifications, and Samuel George Morton, crania studies, attempted to categorize humanity and rank them by intelligence, which provided legitimacy to racist ideologies. Oh, there's like scientific racism too. Social science perspective. Social studies scientists study racial formation theory, examining how race is produced by social, economic, and legal systems. This approach focuses on how societal structures create and maintain racial categories disproportionately affecting certain groups. By the way, Sakuna, are you watching? Do you still watch UFC? By the way, are you following the news about like the new Netflix event where they're putting Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano? Then you have Francis Ngannou actually fighting on the card. And then not just that, Nate Diaz actually signed up a deal yesterday. He's going to be fighting Mike Perry, so that will be pretty interesting. All right, guys, back to the topic of the race again. Evolution of the concept. Historically, anthropologists and naturalists, particularly in the 18th and 19th centuries, were focused on classifying humans into races, often termed physical anthropology or in modern critical times, scientific racism. This work, such as the studies by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach or Caucasian classifications, has been discredited, and modern science now focuses on analyzing human genetic variation through ancestor and population studies rather than categorizing in races. All humans belong to a single species, Homo sapiens, and share approximately 99.9% of the DNA. That's kind of crazy that I'm sharing 99% of the DNA with every single other human. I'm doing that. That is unbelievable. Variations within the groups. There is scientifically more genetic variation within any racial group, 88 to 92%, than between different groups. Wow. Physical traits like the skin color vary gradually across geographic space, a pattern known as a cline, rather than in abrupt, discrete breaks. Non-concordance. Traits are inherited independently. For example, skin color is not genetically bundled with blood type, height, or intelligence. Probably it's not. Skin color is probably not directly related to it, but I know there's people living in like different parts of the world that are actually taller, but maybe it's not because of the skin color, because you would have that in different races as well. Like if you're looking at the white race, and I know white is not a one race itself, but if you look at like some of the European countries, especially I would say maybe people from Iceland, they're so massive, man. They just grow a lot. And then Dutch people are like tall. And then you can look at some of the races in the African American countries, like Nigerians are pretty tall. But if you go to East African countries, they're not as tall. They're not as strong, but they have the endurance. They can just run for long distances. So yeah, they're different talents that get possessed by different races, but it's not based on the race. I would say it's probably cultural differences. It's the upbringing, all of this. The science of race primarily emerged between the 16th and the 19th centuries, often used to justify colonialism and slavery. Classified humans into four varieties based on continent and perceived temperament. Establish a five-race system: Caucasian, Mongolian, Ethiopian, American, and Malay, and coined the term Caucasian. Scientific. Um, am I gay? No, I don't think so. Do I look gay, by the way? Do I talk gay? I can guarantee you I'm not gay. Phil Zog. Savvy Ballestros, you good? Yeah, I'm good, man. How's it going? You right? Do you have any opinions on the topic that I am talking about, by the way? Some chill guy. No, but I'm gay. That's pretty chill, bro. That's pretty chill. That is cool. I'm gonna fight for your rights. I'm in Dublin. Oh, you're in Dublin right now. That's amazing, dude. What is Dublin thinking about Conor McGregor right now, by the way? Conor is from Dublin, right? Conor. Do people in Ireland still love Conor McGregor? We're talking about race, dude. I'm discussing a very racist topic today. It's not about the UFC today. We're just going to race. Like, which race is the best? Of course, I'm going to say brown race, right? I'm going to be a bit biased, but I'm trying to keep it unbiased. Connor's a shithead. Yeah, Conor, man. I don't know, man. Dude, I used to love the guy, to be honest. I started watching UFC because of Conor McGregor. He got me into UFC because he used to give the speech about the confidence, right? This guy was all about confidence. He would manipulate people into doing what he wanted. He was predicting the outcomes of the match before the match, and he was able to do it successfully. Like against Jose Aldo, he made Aldo come into the punch. He was controlling his mind, but then he changed. Money kind of changed him after the Floyd fight. He was never the same. Yeah, I mean, I think because he got a lot of money, and just like they say, when you have like millions of dollars in your bank account, are you still going to be able to wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock and gonna run around the block, right? When you have easy life, when you have a big bed and you got everything available in the house, would you still be putting that much effort in outside? Probably not. He's not. He's the king of UFC. Dude, he's not the king of UFC anymore. Maybe there was a point when Conor was thought to be like the king of UFC. Ireland rejects him. He's a grifter nowadays. Lost the Irish pride. Dude, I'm gonna say that, by the way, and I'm not even just talking about like inside the cage, right? Everybody loses inside the cage. There's nobody who's undefeated except Khabib, because he actually retired at 32 years old, right? He was in the prime of his life. If Khabib stayed for like 4 to 5 more years, he would have probably lost as well, dude. Everybody loses. So I'm not mad at Conor for actually losing the fights. I am more mad at him for the character that he's actually depicting outside the cage, like the club incident, beating up an old man. There's a lot more stuff that he's doing outside, cheating on his wife, then the sexual harassment. I don't know how correct they were, by the way, sexual accusation and all of this stuff. So I mean, he's done a lot of bad stuff outside, which I'm not happy about. And when it comes to actually losing the fight in UFC, everybody loses, so that's not a big deal. Money, a Mal 17 was good. Yo, bro, how's it going? We're just discussing Conor McGregor right now. He was a hero, but money corrupts. Yeah, there's something evil about the money. Evil about the money. Do you guys believe, by the way, that you could be like a millionaire or a billionaire? Do you think there's any billionaires right now that are actually kind people, that are actually generous, kind, and they're making the money through legal means? Do you think there's guys like that? Because I think there's something inherent about the money that is actually inherently bad about the money, that if you get too much of it, it corrupts you. Jax is saying, you are so handsome. Can I be your boyfriend? If I, what was the song, man? If I was your boyfriend, I never let you go. You could be my arms gone, you never be. You're so handsome. Can I be your boyfriend? I wish you were a girl, man. I wish you were a girl. I'd be okay with this. But nah, that's not my type, dude. One, two, three, 4 times. You're gonna try 4 times. So is that a yes? Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a public stream, so I'll probably get caught, man. Maybe there might be like members of my family watching right now. The stream is gonna get posted later on. People are gonna be watching it, so maybe we can do it like the We can do it underground, but not in front of the stream. Ah, how's UFC going, by the way? Funky Yorigano, can you congratulate my friends um, Barney and Josephine as they have just announced that they have a baby on the way? Yo, congratulations to both Barney and Josephine. Man, that's nice. Mythics, what's your girlfriend name? Frank? Who's Frank? I don't know. My name is not Frank. If you're talking to me right now, unfortunately, don't have a girlfriend. But if you're talking to somebody else called Frank in the chat, then I don't know about that. Hi guys, who's following the Netflix event, by the way? And by the way, who's following the London event? UFC is actually coming to London, and me and my friend are going to be popping in to see Merab Dvalishvili. There's public meet and greet, and me and my friend are going to be going there. It's free actually, so I might actually be producing some content with Merab Dvalishvili as well. Might be just saying hi to him, and then if he's got time, depends on how much time we actually get, because there's going to be a lot of people over there. If you can produce some like I don't know, some funny wrestling content, I think that'll be pretty cool. What are you drinking? Is it good? Okay, I'm drinking protein shake right now. 25 grams of protein. You kind of need it right now. I had a gym session just before that. So I finished work around like 5 o'clock, closer to like 5 o'clock. But then I was fasting as well. So I had a quick gym session for like 1 hour. And I was like, let me just grab something. But that's the time. By the way, in fasting, I prefer actually working out before breaking the fast. I know some people actually feel like they don't have the energy and then they do it after breaking the fast. But I find it really hard because my body just gets sleepy. So because at night I'm not even getting enough sleep. Like I'm literally going to sleep like around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then you wake up at 7 o'clock for like work and stuff. And then you're spending the whole day without actually having the food. So when you actually do get the food, it's like your body gets so sleepy, it gets so comfortable that you don't want to work out anymore. So it's kind of very hard for me. So what I normally do is that when I'm fasting, I just before breaking, so 1 hour before breaking the fast, I start working out. Just have like a quick workout for like 45 minutes to 1 hour, and then I eat something, and then then after that it's kind of fine. Uh, okay. I was trying to search about like why did human beings turn into like different races? Because we actually think, right, what the normal perception was that the African race was like the first race that actually started. This is where the humanity actually originated from, and humanity actually originated from the continent of Africa. So why did we develop different skin tones? Why did that even happen? So is that a yes? EIP PAP? Are you asking me out? EIP PAP, are you a girl? If you're a beautiful girl, I could probably say yes, but I don't know. I haven't seen you, so I'm not really sure about it. Okay, guys. So back to the race topic. How did people evolve into different skin colors? You're a beautiful girl? Oh, definitely. 100% yes. I always have space for them. Doesn't matter how many. Different climate conditions and genetic adaptation. Genetic adaptation in different climate. Do you think the climate conditions would actually affect the race? To be honest, I'm thinking about like, let's say European people actually. If European people start migrating towards like the South Asian countries, let's say India or African countries, and they live there for like a period of time, do you think their skin color would actually change just based on the climate and just based on the weather, the hot temperatures over there? Are you a big guy? Unfortunately, EPAP, I'm not a big guy, so I might not be good enough to actually make you happy. I might not be the guy. You might be looking for somebody else. I am extremely short and I'm like a 1 minute man, so I don't really know if that's good enough. Different skin colors evolved as an adaptation to varying levels of ultraviolet radiations across the globe, driven by natural selection to balance protection against folate destruction with the need for vitamin D production. Humans in sunny equatorial regions evolved high melanin for protection. Oh, by the way, I do understand this logic, by the way. So, like white people, like the European race, when they actually sit in the sauna, they can probably sit in the sauna for like a long period of time, but then their skin color actually changes dramatically. It drastically changes. Um, there's something like this. Which race can actually take more sunlight? Certain skin colors and DNAs were simply developed over many years to adapt to certain climates, environments, and demographics. It's part of living things and characteristics like tap, roots, etc. Yeah, it does actually make sense. Okay, people with darker skin tones, South Asian or Melanesian descent, can tolerate high levels of sunlight without developing sun damage compared to people with lighter skin. This is due to a higher concentration of melanin, a natural pigment that protects the skin by absorbing ultraviolet radiation. Also, they have more melanin, and that's why they can actually do it. But then I think there's like a disadvantage of it as well, uh, which I can't remember correctly, but I might be able to find out. Lighter skin, which evolved in lower sunlight regions, allows more sunlight to penetrate to produce vitamin D. Yes, yes, that's the one. So, but lighter skin has its own benefits in that regard, because you have low melanin, and lighter skin, which evolved in lower sunlight regions, allows more sunlight to penetrate to produce vitamin D. Consequently, this skin type burns much faster and has a higher risk of developing skin cancer. So lighter skins have a higher risk of developing skin cancer, but they can actually take in more vitamin D than the darker skin, let's say. So if darker skin is actually getting exposed to the sunlight, their body wouldn't be absorbing vitamin D as fast as like the light skins. EPAP, who what? Uh, Mimics. Certain skin tones were developed to protect against UV. Some were developed to protect against cold. Some were developed to absorb more sunlight, resulting in very different skin colors. I completely agree, and I think with the people who are actually living like cold weathers, extreme cold weathers, their skins are mostly thicker as well. Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie about this. I went to Pakistan, right? I was born in actually Pakistan, but I went back to Pakistan, and I'm from like the southern area of Pakistan, and southern area of Pakistan is actually very sort of like hot, and people over there have very like thin skin actually. But when you go towards the northern areas, which I had the chance to actually go to the mountain areas, and the temperature was like minus 15, but the people over there, when I actually went over there, I had to put like a heavy jacket on. I had like a sweater on, and then I had like a heavy jacket on top. But the people over there actually, dude, they literally had a scarf, literally not even a sweater. Minus 15 degrees. People from that area, they had like either a small sweater or they had like a scarf on, and they were not even feeling cold. They were like, this is just like another day for us. So it wasn't a big deal for them because I think their skins have just gone so thick. You are so cute for real. Thank you very much, EPAP. Melanin as a protective agent. Darker skin behaves as a natural SPF, often estimated to be around SPF 4, reducing the risk of sun related damage. Adaptation. The global distribution of skin color reflects adaptation, with darker skin being more suited to the intense sun of the equator and lighter skin to the weaker sun of higher latitudes. While dark skin handles higher sun exposure better, it is not immune to UV damage, premature aging, of skin color. Um, you guess. I'll let you guess it first. People with darker skin living in northern climates are more susceptible to vitamin D deficiency because their skin filters out to the little UV light available, often requiring supplements. Let's go to plants. The plants in the deserts adopt certain roots due to the lack of water. That's why desert plants can survive any climate. Their roots are more like on the surface of easily absorb rain. The plants adopt certain roots due to the lack of water. That's why desert plants can survive any climate. Yeah, their roots are more likely on the surface of easily absorb rain. Okay, I completely understand it. That one. Yeah. Do you know about the some of the animals as well? By the way, like you have camel. The camels can actually not drink for like a month or something. It's something crazy actually. So they drink a lot just one time and store it in their body, and then their bodies are the way the bodies are actually built is that they can actually use that water for a long period of time. That's how humans adapted to be able to survive in certain locations. I understand that completely. I'm 31 years old. Okay, let me check out plants, man. Plants. Mm, I think I'm getting way too many compliments. I think I'm getting way too many compliments. Oh, I've never heard that one actually. You are not only handsome, you are intelligent as well. All right, thank you very much. We'll take that. Plant races in fiction, gaming, and folklore represent intelligent, mobile plant-based life and forms. Key examples include small 2-3. Hey, Dart, how you doing, bro? Key examples include small 2 to 3 feet wedgie pygmies with bark-like skin, large wooden trees acting as forest guardians. The highly intelligent shape-shifting mythosians. How are plants intelligent, by the way? How are plants intelligent? John Jesus is saying do a backflip. Dude, I can't even do a front flip. You asked me to do a backflip. Nah, I don't think I can do. I was learning to do a backflip. I did a backflip, actually tried to do a backflip once, and I failed it. I fell on my neck. I mean, there's a couple. I can give you a couple of cartwheels. I can do cartwheels. I can do kick ups. I can do. I mean, I am athletic. I would say I'm like decently athletic, but black backflip is not my thing yet. Maybe one day I would actually. I need to take the gymnastic classes. Like when we were doing the wrestling classes, when I started doing the wrestling classes, I was training New Wave Academy. Actually, Sir was the one who was doing the wrestling class. He was asking us to do like the sort of like the front flips. I mean, I can do like a terrible sort of like a front flips, and then we were doing the cartwheels. I could do cartwheel, but then he was also asking us to do like a backflip. But that's only like two people in the class could actually do like a backflip. Nobody else could do that. John Jesus says you do one. Yeah, John Jesus, you do that, dude. Post a video of it and give me a shout on that. Where other dude? How come you're not married? I think Pakistani guys get married relatively early. Yeah, Pakistani guys do get married. Actually, that's true. No, but it's the same with everyone, right? I don't think. I think it's mostly with the Pakistani girls. Actually, Pakistani girls do get married at like they get married around like 22, 23, 25, 26. That's pretty much it. Like most of them. But with the guys, it's not like there's not much pressure with the guys. All right, let me go back to the race. Which no, I'm not living in Pakistan anymore. I was born in Pakistan. I live in UK actually. Okay, based on studies, so what do you guys think? Which ethnicity has the strongest legs? Based on studies regarding body composition, bone mineral density, and muscle tendon structures, there's no single ethnicity that possesses the strongest legs. As strength, O.J. Simpson. Oh, dude, that's a pretty cool name. Are you drunk? I don't think so. I mean, I had like a protein shake on, unless that is mixed with a bit of like alcohol. I'm not sure about it. Dude, is that the actual O.J. Simpson? Americans do because they weigh so much. Do you think that actually contribute to strong legs? By the way, the thing is, if you weigh a lot and then you actually do a lot of walking as well, that's actually going to contribute to your legs getting stronger because your legs have to do more work carrying more weight. No, it's a fake account. I mean, it has to be a fake account. Okay, so it's not giving me any ethnicity that possesses the strongest legs. As strength is influenced by a combination of genetics, training, and environment. I think it's going to be one of those races that actually climb the mountains. So maybe like the Caucasus regions, where those Khabib and Hamza, those guys are, they probably going to have like one of the strongest legs. Or maybe some of the parts of Africa that actually have to walk or like run a lot. Black Afro-Caribbean and African American men. Studies indicate that people of African ancestry often have higher bone mineral density and larger bones, specifically in the tibia and radius, resulting in greater bending strength. They tend to have lower muscle tendon attachment points and shorter Achilles tendons, which can enhance running speed. Regards. Who's the fake account? Yeah, OJ Simpson has to be the fake account. I mean, the guy appears on my live. I mean, it has to be a fake one. And then he comes and he say, "Am I drunk? Maybe I am." And then Caucasian, yes, I told you guys, Caucasian is definitely, Caucasians have to be there, man. There's so many UFC fighters, so many UFC Caucasian fighters that are actually dominating the sport. Like you have Khabib, Hamzat, Merab Dvalishvili, you have Ilya Topuria. I mean, those guys have something going on. They're just so good, man. They're so committed. They don't easily tap. They don't easily get tired. Some studies and observations often found to have thicker muscle girth in the upper body due to a lower center of gravity, shorter legs compared to West Africans, as well as represented in strength-based sports like powerlifting and strongman competitions. And then you have East Asian population. Some studies and observations indicate that East Asians, particularly Korean men, tend to have lower muscle mass compared to other groups, but can possess proportionally thick calves. West African. Athletes from this region are frequently associated with superior muscle tendon parameters for rapid force output or sprinting genetics. Bone density strength. Black individuals tend to have higher bone mineral density. Black individuals, but they gotta mention which black individuals as well, like because every ethnicity in black has like different sort of like bone density, I guess. Like if you look at people in like East African, they might have the less bone density, but they have good gas tank. Can I ask a dumb question? Could I guess your horoscope's kind of yes? How many chances do I get? You get two chances. Powerlifting. Caucasian, European, and Central Asian populations are historically dominant in strength sports. West African ancestry is frequently associated with fast twitch muscles, fiber dominance. Yeah, they are fast twitch muscles, and high ratio of limb to torso length. Regional differences. A person's environment, such as living in mountainous regions, often has stronger impact on lower body strength than ethnicity alone. Holy shit. Holy shit, that is insane. That is insane. You got to correct the first time. To be honest, you know what? I haven't even checked it for like a long, long time, but I believe that when I checked it the last time, that was my sign. I'm gonna have to check it again because I'm not more like I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I was so sure you're so intelligent. Thank you. You look dumb, but you are cool. I subscribe. Jesus Christ, man. Thank you very much. You are so called run. You are yo. Are you called Ranjit? No, I wish I was Ranjit, man. I wish I had talents of Ranjit or Sukhdeep. Ranjit or Sukhdeep? Sukhdeep, who's Sukhdeep, by the way? Am I missing anything? Toasty. I like 100-meter sprint myself. Wade Bader. Are you good at like 100-meter sprinting? I used to do that, by the way. I was never, I wouldn't call myself a sprinter, but I was above average, I would say, but I wasn't the best. Sukhdeep. I mean, Sukhdeep is like a professional boxer, but then there is Sukhdeep, a cricketer. I don't know which one you're talking about. Are you a BBA or MBA graduate? MBA graduate. I'm not. I haven't done MBA or like MBBS or anything like this. I mean, I did political science. So I did a bachelor in political science. Toasty, yes, the cricketer. Tyler, do you go by Ramdeep? Do you go by Ram Deep? Go by Ram Deep. I mean, Tyler, you're doing something, dude. I know you're doing something. I can't even pick it up right now. Like I don't know. All right, man. Just make sure, guys, if you can subscribe me, it would be great. That would be I would love it actually. It's a Gemini just because you're so intelligent. I'm not a Gemini myself. People under my horoscope sign, we are supposed to have the strongest intuition. Wow, your intuition is right. Yes, I just checked it again just to make sure. Yeah, I am a Gemini. I think Rampage goes by Ram Deep when he's disguised as an Indian or stream. That's kind of crazy, bro. I didn't know. I do you find Rampage funny, by the way? I mean, Rampage is one of the funniest guys, especially if you look at the age of Rampage. It's like a retired fighter, but the content that he's still producing, even on Cake and like other streaming platforms, is one of the best guys, man. One of the funny. Yeah, yeah. Turn off extra lights. What do you mean turn off extra lights? There's not that many lights, bro. Hey, is that Prajay, by the way? Toasty? Electricity is very expensive. That's why I'm wasting most of it because it is expensive. It's not like I'm paying directly for the electricity. I'm paying the rent here. That's what I'm doing. Oh my god. Uh, I mean, there's going to be a war. There is a war already going on. It's probably going to turn into like a big world war. Then we would have no power, no electricity, no gas, nothing. Just back to the Stone Age, all of us. So just might as well just use all of it. Is your birthday in June? No, mine is not in June. Mine is actually 30th of May. 30th of May is the last day, the second last day of May. How's it going with the UFC guys? By the way, are you still following? Who's watching Sean Strickland versus Hamza Shimaev, and who's also watching the Netflix card, and also who is watching? I mean, there's a lot going on to be honest. There's Netflix card. There's Strickland Hamzat. There's Arman Saryukian. I don't know what he's going to be doing. He's doing like wrestling cards and like the grappling cards, and then you have the White House card. White House card, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, now I'm gonna move to a different part of this topic. So you think Nate's chances of getting back in the UFC are over now since he signed with Dana's enemy Jake Paul? Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but again, Nate Diaz is such a big star that I think if he wants to come back, Dana might actually still sign him. Dana might actually be okay with him. And it's not very difficult to actually negotiate with the Diaz brothers, especially Nate Diaz. He's willing to take the fight whenever he wants. He doesn't have like a big ego. But also, man, Nate Diaz is pretty old right now, right? Like he's probably he's at the end of his career. He kind of retired from the UFC. He's taken a lot of damage throughout his fight career. So I don't even see any fights that you can make in UFC with Nate Diaz, except if you could have him fighting like Conor McGregor, or maybe have like a fight with Jorge Masvidal. But even if you're gonna put those fights, you would have put them on like a big event, like a massive event. Like you had the White House card, right? That was a chance the UFC could have actually made a Nate Diaz fight on the White House card. But if not those cards, then I don't see UFC actually needing Nate Diaz at this point. But I'm happy. I'm happy he's making a lot of money, and we are actually getting to see him against Mike Perry. I'm picking Diaz, by the way. Even though people are saying that Mike Perry is younger, he's more active right now. Like he's fighting in the bare knuckle fighting championship. Diaz hasn't had a fight in a long, long period of time. I don't know how much he's training outside. I still think Nate is just a better overall MMA fighter. And we know that the fight is actually 5 rounds, so I think he might be able to get him. Uh, Vintage guy, sir, do you know about Rotang? Oh yeah, I do know about Rotang. I actually watched his fight against Demetrius Johnson as well. Didn't go his way, but he did good in kickboxing. Um, I've only watched highlights of kickboxing, so I'm a kickboxing casual, by the way. I'm not watching kickboxing like UFC. I would watch some of the fights of ONE FC sometimes, but with Rotang, it's only the highlights that I watch. I don't remember watching like a whole fight of Rotang. It's only the highlights that have popped up on like Instagram, or like sometimes I watch the highlights on YouTube. But I know he's amazing, bro. He's amazing. I don't know how he takes those shots. Like the guy is moving. He's literally moving into the shot sometimes on purpose, not even covering himself, and he can take it somehow. Is there a bad blood between Pakistani and Indian people who have been born in UK? No, I don't think so, dude. I have a lot of Indian friends, to be honest. Like two of my colleagues are Indians, and they're like one of my best friend in the office is Indian, and then I know a couple of guys in the academy who are Indians as well, where I train. So yeah, I don't think there's any sort of bad blood. I think it's a thing actually portrayed by the media most of the time just to get the views and just to keep the fight going on the social media. At the same time, like if the media is actually going to portray them as bad, then you can have two countries being divided as well. And people in power, people in power, they want to divide you into as many groups as possible, like religion, um, sects as possible. They want to do that. Uh, Science truth. He is a fool if he takes shot like that. It causes brain damage. If he takes shot like that, it causes brain damage. Which shot are we talking about? Friends 6 7. Uh 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 uh. Science true. You are a MMA fighter. Um, I would call myself an MMA in progress. Like I train MMA. I started doing it like late 2022, and then I had like on and off training because I was getting a bit of injuries as well. I did participate in like a few jiu-jitsu competitions. I would wrestle sometimes. I had like a few MMA interclubs, 2 to 3 interclubs. I actually had good results. Like the interclub, I was just able to control the guys, just getting a takedown, top position. Then I had like a few kickboxing interclubs, boxing. I just had a recent interclub as well, and then I tore my meniscus, so I can't train anymore. But yeah, man, just any competitions that I can get, to be honest. Rotang the Thai. Yeah, yeah, Rotang is pretty good, man. I'm not gonna devalue him. He's like one of the best fighters, honest to be, like best fighters ever. One of the best kickboxer ever, Thai fighter. Uh, I think he was thinking about like making a transition to MMA, and he was learning grappling as well. Like I saw his session with Demetrius Johnson, and you could actually see, like in the last few months, Rotang's grappling has actually gone up. So if this guy can actually develop some grappling game instead of some grappling game into his striking game, I think he would actually be very good. I think Khabib is way complete, and Demetrius Johnson as well. Um, Yeah, I mean Khabib. Obviously, Khabib is one of the top MMA fighters. I'll put him in the list of like the top 5 MMA fighters of all time. When it comes to the argument of being the most complete fighter, I wouldn't put Khabib in the list of like the top 10 most complete fighters. I would just say Khabib was the most dominant grappler the UFC has ever seen. I mean, this guy was literally able to take everybody down and then make them quit, kind of like feeling bad for them. Like you would have the fans actually feeling bad for the guy. Like if you watch the fight with Edson Barboza looked helpless. Khabib was on top of him, just ground and pounding him for like 3 rounds. Michael Johnson, he made him tap out. He was talking to him. Conor McGregor made him tap out. He was talking to him as well. So was Khabib like one of the best fighters? He was, but complete wise, because I still feel like Khabib didn't have the best striking. Like his punching, his boxing was getting better. He didn't have the kicking game as much. Is there something conflicting between one's paternal cultural identity and the cultural influence exerted by the environment of the country in which one has been born and raised? Yes. Conflicting. I mean, I don't really know about it, to be honest. It can be. Depends, like, if you talk, but again, if you're saying the paternal identity, right? You're not talking about scientifically actually the information that we actually got from the genes from our father's side or from our mother's side. You're not talking about that, right? Because that involves a lot of things. You're talking about the culture again, that the culture that that person was following. Would there be anything conflicting about the culture that he passed to you versus the culture that you're actually born in now? So let's say if there's a guy who's born in UK, but their parents were from a South Asian country, There's going to be conflicting things about it, I guess, because you're learning new things now. But I guess it wouldn't be much of a problem because you're born here. You're born here, so you should be able to pick up. That wouldn't be a problem. I think it could be a problem for the guys who come to the country late. They might have a bit of a struggle with that. I train and fight amateur. The most dangerous fighters I fought were from Muslim faith. Their honor culture is insane and epic. Yeah, I think there might be something with the faith and God, with the faith and the MMA fighting. And I would say that about like any of the faiths, to be honest. If somebody really follows Christianity and they're willing to die for it, now the number of practicing Christians is probably less than the number of practicing Muslims, and that's why you would find that culture more common in Muslims to actually fight, to put more of their life on the line in the cage. But the Christians who are actually into the faith, I think they're hard to beat as well sometimes because it's like they wouldn't quit. They're willing to actually put their life on the line. So, how's your fighting career going, by the way, Science Truth? How do you are you more of like a grappler? Or are you more of a striker when it comes to the your MMA career? I'm happily subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing. I love that. Uh, H1, which race is the best? I would have the human race, and that's coming from Mr. Throne. Human race, definitely, man. Let's go human race. I'm gonna say brown race. I'm gonna say brown race. Now, I mean, what I'm doing is I was trying to make it controversial. That's why I put the topic as like which race is the best one. Normally, I'm just trying to look at the positives of like different races. So, like the West Africans, they're like fast twitch muscles, right? They move very fast. They're strong. East Africans, they're a little bit slower, but they can run long distances. They have the endurance. Then it's the same thing with the different white races. Like some of the Europeans are tall. Like you have the Dutch people who are tall. Like what's the reason for that? Their genetics are tall, and then you have different European countries that are not as tall, but they're thick. Like if you look at like people from Iceland, they win the world's strongest man competitions all the time. Like Eddie Hall and those guys, they have the genetics of like the being strong, being big. Um, Salam alaikum, bro. Zigani. Yeah, walaikum salam. How you doing? Gotcha. Thanks. Rip headache. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Yeah, that's. I think some people actually kind of mistake this. So when people do say Allah Akbar, they think they're thinking about something. They're actually planning to do something wrong, something big, some sort of like explosion or something. But yeah, Allah Akbar actually means Allah is the greatest. Your internal medicine. Lord's champion, can we marry? If you're a woman, and you're rich, we probably can. Science truth. I am from France. I was more into wrestling. I left the sport. I won against some and just lost to. Better money can be made without brain damage. Um, Better money can be made without brain damage. I mean, wrestling there's less brain damage and but there is less money as well. Are you referring to more money in like MMA or wrestling, or are you saying that you started doing something else like instead of like martial arts? If you're saying if you're doing like some sort of business and you can actually make more money doing that than the martial arts, I mean, I don't disagree. I am required some citizenship. You require citizenship, Lord's champion. Okay, I can help you with the citizenship. It's fine. I didn't know Icelandic men are considered strong, but I should have guessed. But joke is short, or when on a stage, she turns to a beast. Do you know Thor Johnson, by the way? El Pap, do you know Thor Johnson? He's like 6 feet 8 inches tall. He's like an Icelandic. Well, let me check where Thor is from. But if you look at the world's strongest man competition competitors, most of the guys are actually from Iceland. So Thor Johnson, he's from Iceland as well, by the way. He's like 6'9" and he's massive. Lowest champion to India. Yeah, I can marry people from India. That's not a problem for me. Saw you wearing the pancreatic cancer shirt yesterday. I'm assuming your internal medicine. Um, I am a medicine myself. Pancreatic t-shirt. The thing about the pancreatic shirt is that thing about the pancreatic, I actually got it from the cancer department. So I work in NHS, right? And I was able to get the t-shirt somehow. because they were having like a pancreatic cancer day. But actually, I did not veer in the veer it on the pancreatic cancer day. I did not do that. But I still got the shirt, so I can wear it anytime. MMA, I left completely. I became an engineer. Engineering is fine as well. By the way, I tried studying engineering. I didn't finish it completely. I was doing electrical engineering. Icelandic have Vikings DNA. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, dude, the Vikings are strong. The Vikings are strong. Addicts23, hi, new to the stream. What's your content about? So most of my content is actually MMA content. I produce videos about UFC. Could be like the pre-fight analysis video, post-fight analysis videos. But I do some of the stuff as well. Like sometimes I'll make the political videos. Mostly it's MMA and sports. Today I'm making a video about like a race. So we were discussing like different positive aspects of different races, like what their talents are, which races can jump higher, which races can run faster, and vice versa. Scientific truth, you are a doctor. No, I'm not actually a doctor. I'm a data quality officer. So mostly dealing with the data about the treatments, the diagnosis of the cancer patients, and all of that stuff. Do you prefer cats or dogs? Uh, Depends upon the type of the dog or the cat we're talking about. I like badass. I like badass stuff. So if you're talking about dog, like a German Shepherd or something that can actually, that is some sort of causes explosion. So like the Greyhound is pretty fast. I like the speed of that dog. German Shepherd, I just like the style of German Shepherd, to be honest. And same thing with the cats. If the cat is like a, which cat is that? Lynx cat. I like that because it's like one of the biggest cats. John Jones is the goat. Agree or disagree? John Jones minus steroids. Yes, John Jones is the goat. If you look at the resume, this guy's got 9 champions on the resume. Of course he is. But if you put the steroids into the consideration, John Jones is not the goat. If you put the character outside of the UFC, beating up women, accidents, doing steroids multiple times, getting caught like 4 times just because of doing steroids, and all of this stuff, hiding underneath the octagon to not get tested. Bella from Israel, where do you work? Hello from Israel, where do you work? Oh, bro, your name is on that side. That's crazy, and that your writing is coming from that side. Unbelievable. I don't know how you did that. Um, where do I work? I work in NHL's King's College Hospital in the UK. Yes. How you doing? How is Israel doing, by the way? Even though I'm more of like a supporter of like Palestine in that war, like Iran in that war. But how are you doing? How is your country doing? I still feel bad for the people who are actually not involved in any of the decisions that the government actually makes. I feel bad for people, just like the common people who are paying for the mistakes of like the elites, I would say, from both sides. All right, guys, we're gonna find out which ethnicity has the highest. Oh, I'm gonna check out which ethnicity has the highest testosterone. What would you guys guess? It's fine. Many here don't like the government, or many don't like the government even in Israel. So I did have that idea, by the way. I think Benjamin Netanyahu was very unpopular before the war actually started, and then some people actually think that he used the war as a distraction because there were protests going on inside his own country. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shakibu, where are you from? I am from Pakistan, bro. I'm living in UK at the moment. OMG, I would marry you. Damn, I would marry you back. How many girls have I got in this stream? How many marriage proposals have I got in this stream? I've got 2 already. I've got 2 marriage proposals in this stream. If I keep going at this pace, man, if I stream every day, and if I stream 4 times, that's like 8 wives in a day. And then if I do it for a month, that 30 times 8, 240 wives. I will have 240 wives. We'll keep doing that. We will populate every single continent. On the stream at least, right? Oh damn, yours. So I'm not the only one. Damn, you saw that in the stream. There's like one more proposal. So there's a lot coming. You're getting marriage proposals only because they think you're they think you're Indian. Which I'm not. I'm actually from Pakistan. If I sent you a contract to work with us, would you decline? Depends upon the kind of work that we're talking about. If it's like OnlyFans work, I'll probably decline. Unless it's a lot of money. We'll think about it. But then if it's depends upon the type of work that we're talking about, to be honest. Shakib. By the way, Shakib, I there was a cricketer named Shakib Al Hassan from Bangladesh, who was actually the captain of Bangladesh cricket team. If you know, if you watch cricket, you probably know. Okay, studies suggest that black man. Oh, you do know. You do know. Okay, that's cool. Because he's handsome and intelligent. It's a very rare combination nowadays. This is unbelievable. Thank you very much. Ahmed HM, salam alaikum. Walaikum salam, bro. How you doing? Good to see you back. Intelligence. Intelligence like Mossad agent. Are you offering me a job to be a Mossad agent? I don't know, dude. Shakib, I ain't watch cricket. You don't watch cricket? Which country, Shakib, which country are you from, by the way, and where are you living in? If you're living in any of the South Asian countries and you're not watching cricket, bro, that's not right, dude. How do you keep up? Because when I was living in Pakistan, I was forced to watch cricket. Where is your email? I am not sure if I can. I'm gonna give you the email here, but if you let me know about the job, then I can give you the email. Mashed. Yeah, that is mashed. Shakibo, Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan. Okay, you probably know wrestling then, Shakibo. Wrestling is pretty. Do not translate messages. What does that even mean? Okay, which ethnicity has the highest testosterone? Okay, studies suggest. Guys, please guess which ethnicity has got the highest testosterone levels. I want to see Pakistan into this, right? I want to see Pakistani man at number one for this position. Amir Timur is from Uzbekistan. He founded Shmokan. Malta has the highest testosterone. I don't believe that. I don't think Malta would have the highest testosterone. It's that they're not that famous. Like they don't, you don't really find them in like sports and stuff. But white men in general have the highest testosterone. I doubt it. I think it depends upon like the which whites you're talking about, to be honest, because there's like different types of whites. I lived in Malta. Malta. I've never been to Malta, man. I've never been to Malta. Amir Timur is bro. Who is Amir Timur, by the way? Who is that? Let me just Amir Timur. Oh, that is a military leader and former emir of the Timurid Empire. We're talking like 1320s to 1718s. Also known as Tamerlane, was a Turco-Mongol conqueror, first ruler of the Timur dynasty. Why is Timur so famous? He was undefeated in battle and is widely regarded as one of the greatest military leaders and tacticians in history, as well as one of the most brutal and deadly. Timur is also considered a great patron of the arts, as he interacted with the scholars and poets such as Ibn Khaldun. Okay, so I don't doubt it. Malta man might have like the top five testosterone or something like that. Highest testosterone may be from Sudan or Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria, I do kind of agree. I'm gonna check it quickly. This Arabic dude leaves weird comments. I understand. He's not Arabic. I think he's from Israel. I speak Maltese as well. Cool. By the way, are Israeli Arabic as well? Because they do speak Arabic language, right? They speak Hebrew and Arabic, if I'm not mistaken. What you saying, bro? Hey, Carl, how's it going, bro? How's it going? I can speak 12 languages in a total. Man, that is impressive. I can only speak four to some extent. Yes, Timur is one of the best. I like him. Yeah, I see why you like him. He's undefeated, dude. Okay, now guys, we're gonna reveal. So you guys better buckle up because you guys are all from different ethnicities. We got some blacks, some whites, some browns, people from like different backgrounds, ethnicities. So we're gonna reveal which one is the best one. All right. Okay. Okay. I mean, in general, they're saying the black men, particularly in the U.S., tend to have higher serum testosterone levels compared to white men and Asian men. However, some studies also identify Mexican American men as having the highest concentrations in certain age groups. I mean, Mexican American, I don't even doubt this because Mexicans, dude, if you watch boxing, Mexican style, those guys do not shy away from the fights. Their chins have like they're best one of the best chins, to be honest. They don't get dropped. Why did you take Jerusalem Jew? Why did you take Jerusalem Jew? Mm, Are you asking me this question? Uh, okay, so Mexican American are definitely very high. region. Data can vary by location, and some studies are higher testosterone levels. You know what I'm gonna do? Ethnicity wise, it's hard to actually find out. And I'm talking to the one from Israel. Okay, okay, cool, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna just check the country. Which country has the highest testosterone? To be honest, which country has the highest? Dude, Pakistan better be there. Testosterone levels. Okay, number one is Uzbekistan. Average levels for the top ranking countries are often cited as follows. Uzbekistan, there's a guy from Uzbekistan over here. 773. Croatia is number 2. Cameroon is number 3. Azerbaijan is number 4. And Mongolia is number 5. Mongolia, I don't even doubt because Genghis Khan was from there, dude. One of the highest testosterone levels. He's Arab. I can't read your Hebrew. Oh, Shakibu, yeah, you're the guy, dude. You gotta be proud of yourself, Shakibu. Ahmed Bijam, I don't think Asians have lower levels compared to Americans because simply put, not everyone in Asia performs this analysis. That's also kind of true. And by the way, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen one of the researches where they say Pakistani men actually have like the fourth highest testosterone levels on average, which I can't see right now, but maybe on a different link I might be able to find out something. I think it's also because Pakistani men actually have blood of like Arabs and Persian as well. And you know, Persian, they were involved in a lot of wars. So the Persian Empire, when they were actually expanding it, so the Persians actually came to India and they did breed with the Indians, and then the Pakistani men actually came in some of the cases. Baba the Mughal Chagatai prince is also from Uzbekistan. Was Babur actually from Uzbekistan? Mm, let me do a quick fact check. Let me do a quick. Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire in India, was born in Andijan, located in the Fergana Valley of modern day Uzbekistan. That's unbelievable, by the way, bro. Science truth. You do have a lot of knowledge about history, by the way. You do have a lot. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest, because you've been able to give me a lot of stats so far. Um, yeah, true. As a Timurid prince and direct descendant of Timur and Genghis Khan, he ruled. He was a direct descendant of Genghis Khan, by the way. He ruled Fergana before establishing his empire in the Indian subcontinent in 1526. Allah is the greatest. Yeah, I'm not even gonna argue with that. Zahiruddin Babur, you're forgetting Ali. Can you can you be Jew and atheist? That wouldn't just make you an Israeli. It says atheist Jew. Um, um, okay, so if you're talking about the Orthodox Jews, yes, they are the Jews who actually believe in Torah and who actually believe in all of the holy books. But if you're talking about like the atheist Jew, could it mean like the Zionists? Because the Zionists weren't actually Orthodox Jews. They were either the evangelical Christians, and again, nothing against the Christians or the evangelical Christians, but I think there were some evangelical Christians and the atheist Jews who had a belief that Israel should have the right to exist, that Jews should have a separate state. So I'm not really sure about it. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, by the way, Pakistan. Oh yeah, I found the link where it says Pakistan has the world's fourth highest testosterone levels. I'm so proud of myself, guys. I am so proud of myself. I've done it. I've done it. My dad has done it. Okay, so Mongolia is 693, Ethiopia 671, Nigeria 649, Pakistan 635. God damn it. The Persians have the best testo because you'll hardly find an Iranian who isn't very hairy or has a thick beard. I swear to God, dude, I've got Iranian friends and they fucking look like werewolves. I'm not even gonna lie about this. Like my friend Arman, I used to go to gym with him sometimes. Dude, that guy is fully covered with hair. Even his back is like fully hairy and stuff. Has thick beard. Additionally, Iran is closed off and under siege, so their statistics aren't readily available. But yeah, Persian Empire, they have a history of doing it, dude. They've been involved in so many wars, so of course their testosterone levels are going to be high. When you see wars, that naturally the kids that get born in the next generation would have higher testosterone level. Shakibul Rothschild, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Rothschild himself wasn't a Jew. I don't. He was an atheist. I believe he was not even following any religion. I can do like a double fact check on that. Um, Contri Crown Mapper. Hi, bro. How's it going? Who else do we have on the list? Saudi Arabia is like, okay, Egypt is number five, Russia is number six, Saudi Arabia is number seven, Poland is number eight, Kyrgyzstan is number nine, and then you have Sudan at number 10. No Israel, no Iran, no USA, Morocco, Allah. The I don't know what that means. So you're saying no to Israel, no to Iran, no to USA, just Morocco. Is that what you're saying? Persian had great generals. Rustam Firzakhad was a great warrior, but lost to Muslims at a battle of Al Qadisa. No, bro, Jesus Christ. No, bro, Jesus Christ. I don't know. Persia and US had a very complicated relationship once. Yes, I mean, Persia and us, like Greeks, had a very complicated relationship. Okay, Alpab, are you from Greek? Persians and Greek actually had a complicated relationship. I do believe that. Uh, so Persians actually did go to Israel, like the old Israel, Bani Israel, in 3000 or something like this. Cyrus the king, was he from Persia actually? And they believe they were invaded by the Mesopotamians, and they believe Cyrus was actually gonna free them. But did Cyrus actually kill them? Do you guys remember the story when Cyrus actually went to free the Israelis of that time? Russia number six, that's strange. I guess they did it for the whole Russia, right? If they were just doing for like the some of the states of Russia, like let's say the testosterone levels of like Dagestan or the testosterone levels of like Chechnya, they could be on the top. If you're just doing it by the state, because not all Russia is the same. I think the states that actually struggle that had to fight a lot because whole Russia is quite big, right? And the states like Dagestan and Chechnya, they had to fight, they had to struggle throughout their whole lifetimes. Basically, these guys have only seen wars. They don't have the best weapons, but they had to fight. So I believe their testosterone levels would have to be high. Persians and we said hi. I see you kissing a guy behind a Burger King. Grayscale, you saw me kissing a guy behind a Burger King? I don't think I was behind a Burger King. I think I was in front of it. Could be a mistake. Almohad Caliphate. Almohad Caliphate. Let me check Almohad Caliphate. Okay, Almohad Caliphate or was a North African empire ruled by a Berber Muslim dynasty in the 12th and the 13th centuries. At its height, it controlled much of the Maghreb and the Iberian Peninsula. Who was the founder? Was a prominent Berber leader in North Africa, born in 1094 in Tagra, Algeria, supported by the Christian military orders and crusaders. The rulers of Castile, Aragon, Navarre, and Portugal defeat the Almohads during the Battle of the Lost Neveres. Okay, by the way, Science Truth, if you're still following the stream, did you study history as well? By the way, I know you studied engineering, but did you study history as well? But because it seems like you do have a lot of knowledge about like the history and stuff. And then, should the moon ranch ship but not people? Should the moon ranch ship but not people? I guess so. A ranching ship involves raising flocks on extensive, often arid pastureland for wool meat and common in areas like Australia. Where there are crustaceans in the US, these operations focus on breeding, seasonal lambing, grazing, management, and predator protection. These sheep are often hardier breeds capable of navigating large. I don't think they do that on like people ranching. I don't think they ranch people and stuff. Israel, Iran, America, Morocco. Oh, you're from Morocco, actually. I do love Morocco, to be honest. They have like a decent football team as well. What's wrong with kissing a guy, though? Do you know the artist Rub D Snuts? All right, dude. That was funny. Grayscale. They needed France, Australia, UK, Germany, and Italy against us. France, Australia. Oh, you talking about USA actually? But Morocco is alone. OMG, I have to tell the people. Or you talking about like that time? OMG, I have to tell the people running this ranch, I am free. Grayscale, you got me, Grayscale. Lil, that was nuts. That was not. That was nuts. Okay, cool, dude. Gotcha. Do you support Morocco or Algeria? Do I support Morocco or Algeria? I don't know, dude. What are we talking about? Are we talking about football or like what are we talking about? I think they both have like similar teams. To be honest, their football level is pretty much similar. What are the specialities of Morocco and Algeria, by the way? I don't know much about both of those countries. I think Morocco has a deep history. History of Morocco. History of Morocco. Let's check out the history of Morocco. Morocco history is a rich tapestry of indigenous Berber culture influenced by Phoenician, Roman, and Arab conquest. Wait, Romans actually invaded Morocco as well? I didn't know that. Do you support Greece or Turkey? Again, what are we talking about? Are we talking about like football or are we talking like politics? I don't know much about Greece or Turkey. Like, do they still have like a thing going on? I know Turkey and Cyprus they don't like each other, right? They're different parts of like the same country. Cyprus is more like a natural beauty, sort of like northern side of area, and Turkey is like more like a historical place. But Greece, how were the wars between Greek and Turkey, right? I know they had like one of the biggest empires. Like Greek Empire at some point was big. Then Turkish Empire, Ottoman Empire actually dominated. Should there be a social media where all humans vote in issues and ideas to provide oversight of democracy, no decision, just theory? I mean, they can kind of do that. How about like having the elections on social media? Wouldn't that be great? Uh, Michi NMR, Netanyahu. Oh, I think Netanyahu is dead. I don't know. I could be wrong. What do you guys think about it, by the way? Are you like a fan of Netanyahu? I mean, I haven't seen many people who are like a fan of Netanyahu, but all right. Super Singh, bro. Shit, bro. Are you on the packet? What, like on drugs? I don't think so. Israel or Palestine? I mean, I kind of support Palestine, but if you have a good argument for supporting Israel, you can let me know. Grayscale, don't ignore me, bro. I've not ignored you, bro, Grayscale. I've even been getting in your traps. You've been trapping me with your words, hidden meanings. I think he's dead. I personally believe he is. Nikki, where do you live? I live in UK, Nikki. But I am from Pakistan. Arman is saying you are my favorite. Thank you, bro. Arman. Right now I've been trying to promote Arman Saryukin, by the way. Same name as you. Sorry, I had to go and drink. It's fine, man. You can have a drink. It's fine. Okay. By the way, I was looking at the Moroccan history. Yo, thank you. No problem. Uh, Smugglers back is saying, is politics smarts and should schools yell more like the Canadian House of Commons, or is that literally high school? I mean, I would say that's kind of literally high school, to be honest. That is literally high school. People just shouting. Any fellow Israelis here? I don't know, man. I don't think there's any Israelis. There's one person who actually loves Netanyahu in the chat, I think. Do you play Roblox? I used to, not a big fan of Roblox. I play like a few times. I'm more like an MMA guy, dude. I play like sports. I play like different sports. I play squash. I play badminton. I played for like a long time, and tennis sometimes, and then martial arts. Like I do MMA. Smugglers, this pod is freaking my mind because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So even it's freaking my mind because I don't know which topic we're discussing right now. Opinion on Trump and Kamala Harris. 2024, I campaigned for Trump actually. I was making videos about Trump. I actually, if you check out my YouTube channel, I actually produced a song about Trump as well. Maybe the song sucks because he said no foreign intervention, no forever wars. We're not going to indulge into this. And I was happy about this. I was like, this guy is going to stop the war with Ukraine. He's going to stop the war with Palestine because he said Putin respects me a lot and Palestine would respect me as well. But guess what? I was wrong. I think Kamala would have been better. Are you Christian, my friend? Orthodox Crusader? No, man. Unfortunately, I am not. I am a Muslim, but I do respect Christians. Smuggler Squash. Squash. Do you play squash as well, by the way? I just started playing it recently, man. It's my brother actually loves racket sports. So I was like, okay, let's hear. Lord's champion, what's your weight class? Dude, I've competed at 61, 60. Last boxing match that I had was 65. So I compete between 61 and 65. If I actually have like an MMA fight, I would do 61 because I think I'm too small for 65. I would be cutting a bit more. But if I'm doing like a jiu-jitsu competition or like a boxing match, I'll do a 65. Can you add me? If yes, Z4, you are my favorite person in the whole entire world. Can you add me if yes, Z4? Yes, dude, I can add you. Yeah. Yeah. How do I add you, by the way? Add you as like a moderator or what? Like add you back as like subscribe you? I don't know if I can get an option to subscribe you, by the way. If you actually comment on one of my videos, on one of my shorts, so I actually remember you, because these comments wouldn't appear on my live later on when the live is posted. So then I can know your name and then I can actually go back and like subscribe you or something like that. Orthodox, you are so fun. Great date night. Smugglers, thanks, bro. Great date night. I mean, I'm waiting for a date night. I hope I get it this weekend. Orthodox Crusader, peace be upon you, Wolfpack. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Mixed martial arts. Yeah, I do MMA, bro. I do MMA. I love training MMA. I tore my meniscus like a few weeks ago, so I can't really train right now. I still box like sometimes a little bit, but I can't do wrestling at all. I was doing wrestling and I was trying to trip somebody, inside trip, if you know, like you get underhook on one side, you had the overhook on the other side, you get the leg trip, and you're going there. I was too explosive. I messed up my meniscus. Do you know anything about Bitcoin? I invest in Bitcoin. I think I might have done like not much, just like 500 pounds, but I don't remember getting anything back, to be honest. I don't really follow it, bro. I'm not like one of those guys. But I guess right now is like one of the best times because the dollar might actually collapse. That's what they're saying because of the world war and all of this. If the what is it called? If the what's that place called, man? That island, the thing that Iran actually closed. If it stays closed, Strait of Hormuz. If the Strait of Hormuz actually closed, there's a chance that the dollar would actually collapse, and then you have something else actually going up, and Bitcoin would be the first thing to go up. Squash is smugglers. You gotta play squash, man. It's very good for the. There's a direct relationship with the life expectancy and squash. People who play squash actually have longer life spans. November India Golf Echo Romeo. Um, India Golf Echo Romeo. NIGG. Okay. Okay, Rio Roy, you got me, bro. You got me. Smuggler, let's go get that romance. We need that romance, dude. Jam Donut Epstein. Epstein is so fucked, bro. Do you guys know that the COVID was actually a simulation? And the vaccination actually contained mRNA of Epstein himself, but he was staying in the system for like 2 weeks. So Epstein is my dad too. Epstein is all of our dads who took the vaccination, by the way. I had to take it because I was working in NHS, and when you're working in NHS, you gotta take the vaccine, bro. My bad. Smugglers, I like playing squash with dates. Dates? Squash with dates as like you taking the girl on a date, or squash with like little like date as like a fruit date? Squash with dates is quite fun, actually. Chris Spencer, can you date me? Chris, you sound like a guy, man. Unfortunately not, and I wouldn't publicly announce it. Smugglers, Roy is being a Aeneas. Is being a genius or Aeneas? Smugglers, the inanimate objects. The inanimate objects. Are we talking about like the? Oh my god, shit. I think I just gotta take this off. My phone was charging and I couldn't do anything. Okay, now we're back. Now it's gonna be fine. Okay, squash with inanimate objects. Are you talking about like stones and stuff, or what are we talking about? I am a guy. Yes, you're so handsome. Thank you very much. Dude, I feel like I am actually handsome. You know what? Because I'm also getting invitation from guys. I'm getting more guys than girls on this stream. I'm not gonna lie about this one. Dude. I never thought that I would see this day in my life. Unfortunately, it's here right now. What other sports do you guys play? And by the way, which sport do you think is the best? I was having an argument with the other guy, some of the guys the other day, and I was saying, which sport do you think has the best athlete? And what do I mean by athlete? There's a lot of things that are involved in the athleticism. It could, dude, you gotta name the worst. Jam, why do you gotta name the worst sport ever? Like cricket as a sport, there's a lot of strategy involved, right? There's a lot of things that are involved that you learn in cricket. But athleticism is not one of them. You don't need to be athletic, dude. Cricket literally has like fat players, literally fat players who don't train a day in their life actually playing that. Does it make you feel bad or disgusted? Kind of disgusted if I'm being honest. Lord's champion UFC. UFC, I kind of like agree with it. Darts, no, no. Now you're trying to fuck around, Lords. Like darts involves a lot of talent. Like those guys are super talented, but I don't think it involves that much athleticism. Actually, American football, best sport invented by Ivy League to annoy everyone. To annoy everyone, yes, but it does actually include a lot of athleticism. By athleticism, what do I mean? Like, are these players explosive? American football guys are explosive. They can actually run very fast. They can lift pretty heavy amounts as well. Like those guys are big, but they can run very fast. So they are athletic. I don't know how flexible they are. I'm not really sure about it. Like if you ask them to kick, they might not be able to do it. They might not be able to do splits and stuff. But then you have the other football players who is not as strong, but they can run fast. You look Indian to me, my bad fam. Don't. I'm not Indian. I'm not. I might have a bit of Indian DNA, but I guess I have a bit of Persian in me as well. I'm Pakistani, so Pakistanis are a mixture of like Persian and Indians, I would say. Fox finding life cricket is the worst game ever made. Well. I do watch cricket, so I'm not gonna say worst game ever made. But if you're talking about the athletic ability, yes, probably yes. Like you literally don't have to do anything. Like there are guys in cricket, like the fielders, they don't even have to move. There's 11 of them, and they only move when the ball actually comes to them. Otherwise, they're standing. Literally. Rugby involves a lot of athleticism. It's actually a pretty badass game, to be honest. The tackles in rugby as well. I played positionally. It represents all body types athletically. Uh, Smuggler. Which sport are we talking about? American football. Oh, you actually played? You played American football. That's crazy, bro. I mean, these guys are, they have a lot of balls to actually play American football. I mean, I've done MMA, so why am I saying that? But yeah, I think it's not good for the brain though. Like the when you have the tackles that involve like straight contact with the head, I think they're pretty bad actually. Like a lot of people actually get CET from American football. There's even kickers. Oh yeah, there's in American football. I've seen that part of it as well. Did you add me, Arman? If you actually comment on like one of my videos, if you go to my channel and if you comment on one of my shorts, I would be able to do it. But I can do it after the stream is finished. Like right now, I'm not getting the option. So if I click on you, right, I don't really get the options to actually add you. I mean, I can um yeah, it's not really giving me an option to actually subscribe you. Right now I cannot subscribe, but if you comment on one of my videos, then I can go back and I can actually add you. Jam, the team sizes blew me out when I watched NFL for the first time. Dude, the team sizes as like the number of the players or like the size of the players. Like the NFL guys are pretty big actually. And by the way, NFL guys are so athletic that they can actually transition into other sports very well as well. Like most of the guys transition into like WWE. A lot of WWE legends have American football background. And I know WWE is not a real sport, but those guys are still athletic, right? So they can actually perform very well. Then some of the UFC guys actually came from NFL as well. Fox finding, good answer. Much love from New Zealand. Pakistan. I am traveling your country early next year. Hey, yo, dude, that would be great, dude. That'd be I appreciate that, bro. New Zealand, when it comes to cricket, one of the best country. Oh, you guys have a lot of like rugby players, right? New Zealand is great rugby. Dan Hooker, you got a couple of MMA guys as well. Israel Adesanya, Arman. I mean in Roblox. Um, yeah, I can add you in Roblox, dude. Because I'm streaming from my phone, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Again, if you actually drop your name in one of my short videos, right? In one of my videos, drop that in the comment section and I will add you. Number players or number of the players. It's bad if you let people tell you how to act. That's a direct correlation to playing for 2.5 years and then broke as average career in American football professionals. Bad, you're right. It's bad if you let people tell how to act. That's a direct correlation to playing for 2.5 years. Compared to rugby teams of 16 max, but you're spot on. Okay, I don't know about the number of players that actually play American football. And then Carey saying WWE is absolutely a real sport. Chill, mate. Yo, I am a big fan of WWE. I'm not a hater. I really follow WWE. I actually grew up on WWE. I was a guy. I actually thought Undertaker was like dead. I actually thought Undertaker was like actually dead when he was wrestling. But I mean, as like it's not a competitive sport. It's more like putting a show on for the people. So can you call it a sport? I don't really know. Can you call them athletes? Of course, they're very good athletes. Like the guys are really performing some high level moves. They're putting their bodies on the line. They're strong. They're fit. They have good stamina. They can go for like 45, 50 minutes. They can put on the matches. They actually take a lot of punishment. But sport in a competitive term, they're not actually you can say that it's a sport, but at the same time, it's not a fighting sport. It wouldn't be a combat sport. It would be a show, a sort of like sport that you're putting on a show for the people, and then the criteria to be the best is actually getting the best interaction with the fans. Oh, Kerry, you're fake as fuck. All right, you got me one time. I offended a WWE fan, to be honest, because I used to get offended a while ago. You can sacrifice from form for performance, but you can't. So it represents human behavior. Um, are you talking about the NFL, by the way? Um, when I'm playing the sports, I pay a lot of attention to the form. Actually, I focus a lot on looking good, and maybe that's only for the camera because for camera you need to look good, and you might not actually be playing the best. And there are guys who look really bad on the camera, but they can actually play really good. Attitude Era was really good, man. I tell you that. Stone Cold Steve Austin, give me a hell yeah. Shit, you're talking too much. Shit, you're talking too much. This is Dean Porthouse. He doesn't like me talking. Come on, man. Smuggler sports performance. Sports performance is like the most important thing. I mean, it's just let's talk about like sports performance for a second. Actually, there are guys who are like bodybuilders. They do bodybuilding competitions. They have good stats in the gym as well. But at the same time, if you compare the powerlifters to the bodybuilders, who actually looks better? Bodybuilders look much more toned. They have much better sort of muscles when you look at the shape. But powerlifters are actually able to lift a lot more. And then there's some explosive guys from some sports. Let's say some of the NFL guys, some of the UFC guys, like let's say Francis Ngannou. Their stats are going to be much better than the bodybuilders. Like bodybuilder might actually be bigger in size than the UFC fighters, but then UFC fighters would be stronger and more athletic, which tells you that sports performance is actually more important. And man, the same thing with like the some of the actors, right? Like they're guys who have abs in acting and like popping out abs, but they're not healthy. They've got abs because they're not eating anything. They're not eating anything, and that's why they have the abs. It's not because they are pulling up high stats in the gym. It's not because of that. It's not because they're doing a lot of reps in the gym. So it's different. It's different between the athletes and like the actors. Look good, feel good, play good. Also called if you must fail, fail at 100%. That's true. Give your best at the end, and then if you fail, you fail. Multi-disciplines becoming one discipline. Special performance. That's true. Multi-discipline becoming one discipline. Yeah, I mean, there are people who are like multi-discipline athletes, and then people who follow one discipline. Okay, where are we, by the way? Where are we? Anyone else plays a different sport? We have seen people in the chat who play like racket sports. We've got guys who played NFL, rugby, MMA fighters. Anyone else a different type of sport? Any swimmers, by the way? This is one thing I can't do actually. Swimming is something that I want to learn, but I didn't learn it as a child, and now it's kind of too late. Like, do I take the lessons now? It's kind of hard. All the skipping and running you used to box. Yeah, I mean, I used to box before I tore my meniscus. I mean, I still kind of do it sometimes. So skipping, running, yeah, skipping and running. I was doing the 5Ks most of the time, to be honest. Like I have done half marathons, like half marathon like 3 times, and I've done more than half marathon like 1 time. But I feel like it's not very good. Running is not like if you're running a lot, it's not very good for the fighting career because your muscles are gonna get worn out. So 5K is like good enough for me. Hi, I'm playing pocket pool. Pocket pool is very tough game. Appetite, control, force. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't know what pocket pool is, to be honest. Pocket pool is a video game. Typically refers to either a 2007 3D billiard simulation video game of the PlayStation Portable. Wait, pocket pool is that? I might have played it actually. Is that on the phone as well? The pool sucks is so fun in open water. It is amazing, like being in outer space. I'm yelling is better than high school investment in. I mean, I have played pool on like the table. Yeah, but it's only like a few times that I played. I'm not like a pro on that. Uh, please look up pocket pool on Urban Dictionary. I can see it, bro. I can see it. It's saying it's 2007 3D billiard simulation video game for the PlayStation. I don't know if you're referring to the video game or if you're referring to the actual pool on the table. Who is a UFC fan over here, by the way? Who watches UFC or like MMA in general? Maybe other fighting promotions like PFL or One Championship. Okay, I got some pool legends. Niles the Terminator is probably pretty good at this. It's a patient. It is a patient sport. Oh, damn! I'm getting hungry again. I think it's also the tiny desktop. UFC's fun. I think it's also the tiny desktop pool tables. All right, UFC is fun, man. UFC is pretty fun. Are you gonna be exciting for the next card that is coming? Like Francis Ngannou gonna be fighting. Then you have Hamza Shimai versus Strickland at the that'll be UFC 328, I think. And then you have the White House card after that. It'll be fun. What's the time right now, by the way? Time is like 21:01. I might stream for half an hour more, so I might stay for like 2 hours. I've been streaming for 1.5 hours. I might stay for like half an hour more. And then I might take a bit of rest. I might make like a few videos or something, and then I might stream again later on, maybe around like 10 something. All the good fighters are toting guns right now, like all the young up and comers that used to join the UFC. Are you referring to John Jones actually? Um, how many legends do we have right now in UFC? Actually, currently fighting. If you're looking at the guys who've like really taken UFC to the next level, I've got their name like joining the top 5 list. MMA is ready for a new league, new culture, like when the original UFC event started. Yeah, UFC is not the same, man. It's like MMA is not the same brand anymore. It's like people know UFC because of UFC, not because of MMA. So they're not interested in the martial arts, like the actual talent, the actual uniqueness of the martial arts, right? So when UFC actually started to talk about the early days, 1990s, right? Early 1990s, you had the guys like Hoist Gracie, who's just a jiu-jitsu specialist. He's going against a wrestler. And that's why people are watching it. Like, which art is the best? You have a jiu-jitsu guy going against a wrestler. You have a kickboxer going against a karate guy or something like this. And now it's like it's such a brand that everything depends on like the promotion. So you might not even have the best fighters actually fighting on the card. You might have a guy who has the more followers. John Jones was like a recruiter for black market soldiers. I mean, this guy did a lot of drugs, so I wouldn't blame it. Yes, you're right. Let's go. Yeah, so now they have made like a Paramount deal of 6.5 5 billion or 7.5 billion for like the, is that like a year? But that's a pretty heavy deal, to be honest, with the UFC fighters, and that's why the pay rates are actually increasing for some of the UFC fighters, which is actually good. But at the same time, Paramount has changed the whole structure. So now UFC is trying to put on the matches that actually bring the most excitement. So the violent matches, not the best fighting the best. I don't know. It might actually hurt the sport in the long term. Why did you? You're pathetic. You're pathetic. Wow. Why did you grape my little brother for coward? I graped your little brother for coward. Who is your little brother? Was he on the Epstein Island? What happened? Yeah, so UFC, man, I don't know. I don't know. I hope the things don't go as they're going right now. Like, if you look at the first 2 to 3 events of Paramount, they've not been able to put the best main events. Like, they put Gaethje versus Patty, which is like good for the entertainment of the fans because these two guys are always ready to indulge in the fights. But are they the best fighters? Arman Sarikin should have been the one fighting for for the interim championship, but he didn't get the chance. Bro, I'm ready to start running fight houses for the for the people's champions. Oh wow, are you talking serious shit here? Are you gonna be doing this like in your backyard fights and stuff? I mean, those people do actually make good money. Like if you have the backyard fights and you're like, okay, this is the ticket. You're paying. Everybody's paying like $50 to actually fight in my backyard, and I'm giving them the matchups, and we're not even doing any we're not even getting any insurance. So for insurance, I know you're gonna have to pay. But if you're keeping it underground and not paying any insurance, and then you're like, okay, but the winner actually gets paid this much amount, and then you're doing the tournaments. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested, but then you're gonna have to play safe over there. It could be on social media instead of television. The goal is not one guy can afford it. Is the people is people build lives. That is true. Load willing, bro. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in this and you think you can do it in a safe manner, then why not? House dive in with your trainer and it's above board in the books. Yeah, if you're actually interested in doing it, I mean, it's better to have like insurance as well at the same time because because if the fighters do get hurt, they have like a signed notice on that they did actually sign up for that. Any other topics? Any other topics? Let me check out the news actually. Where are we? MMA news. Okay, let me check out the political news actually, like what is going on with Iran and like USA and stuff. Iran war situation, if there's anything new. Trump lashes out at NATO allies saying US no longer needs help with Iran war. Oh yeah, did you guys see the news about this by the way? Trump actually not liking the NATO allies because NATO allies are not actually winning the fight of US and Israel because literally it doesn't make any sense. So I actually agree with the NATO allies, but Trump is not happy with them. Trump is like, we actually, it's a very one-sided traffic. We are the ones actually protecting you all the time when the attack happens on any of the NATO countries. But when we do need it, we don't actually get it back. But the thing is, you actually started the Iran war. You didn't take consultation from any of the NATO countries. You didn't even bother to tell any of the NATO countries. He didn't tell any European countries. He just put himself in a war. He didn't even get a permission from the Congress. It was just the president taking the whole action. And I don't know why he expects the NATO allies to actually agree with him. You could be on the social media team one day. I know so many people who would get to rent to own the house, and the trainer and his team run the school or regime or discipline or practice. Oh, dude, is that a good way to actually do it? I mean, I would be interested in it. Uh, so like you're broadcasting the whole event on social media, and then you're actually paying the trainer and the team that actually own the house. You're actually just paying them, and they're the ones actually running the event, and then you're running that event on social media. Is that how it's working? Donald Trump criticizes NATO and other US allies, saying that he has been told that they don't want to get involved in the Iran war. In a post on Truth Social, he says, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. The US president's comments come after a growing list of nations including many European powers, turned down his request to help protect the Strait of Hormuz. Our diplomatic correspondent analyzes the situation. The business model is kind of like a contracting company. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing, because if it's like a proper contract, it means you are guaranteed to get money, right? Uh, and you're the one actually paying for the contract, right? Because you are it's their house. They're the ones actually running the show. You are paying for the contract over there, and then you pay for the social media as well. But if you do make any money out of the social media, that money would be yours, I guess. And they might get a bit of discount or like bit of profit from your money. Earlier, a top counterterrorism official resigned over the ongoing conflict, saying Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Meanwhile, Iran has acknowledged the death of Gholam Reza Soleimani, the commander of the Basij militia, and the Israeli defense minister says its military has killed Iran's security chief Ali Larijani in a strike. Larijani was last seen in public at a Quds Day march in Tehran on Friday. Iran has not confirmed whether he has been killed or injured. Each fighter is its own brand or business. I guess so. Yeah, the famous fighters would have more of a brand or more of a business. One Iranian tells BBC Persian, "The war is really destroying my nerves." While Iran's Ministry of Intelligence says it has confiscated hundreds of Starlink devices, which are used by some Iranians to access the internet net. What happened today? So they're saying if you're just there is no UFC, the overall business structure is a non-profit. Are you talking about UFC as like UFC is like a non-profit organization? UFC does make a lot of profit. Or are you talking about like the business idea that you have, like you get a spot on like the social media? That is a non-profit. Because I can see us actually making profit if this is what I am thinking. Iran has acknowledged the death of Basij military commander Gholam Mirza Soleimani, whose death Israel claimed credit for earlier today. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is lashing out at NATO allies, claiming we no longer need or desire their help in the Iran war after previously attacking them to lend support. A growing list of nations, including many European powers, turned down his request to help protect the Strait of Hormuz, after which the president said his asks were a test. The UFC is a for profit that each fighter is earning. That is true, man. They don't even pay the fighters very well. Like with UFC, Dana White is actually getting a lot of money. If you look at boxing, right? Boxing, your manager is not taking a lot of money. Your manager is only taking a small portion of your money, and then you're paying your gym and stuff, and that's it. There's no promotion in boxing, so nobody's getting the money. With UFC, because there's like a proper promotion, right? So first of all, your manager is taking a bit of money, then you're paying your coaches a bit of money, the academy that you're training a bit of money, and then the UFC actually takes most of your money. So what are you actually getting? I mean, the guys who are fighting on the undercards, the new guys, they're literally getting paid $10,000 for a fight, $12,000 for a fight, which is not even as good as like a 9 to 5 guy. It depends on how many times they're fighting. The operator of the business model can have a huge salary, but all profits go to the fighters who participate in the broadcasting event management team. Uh, I guess, right? But it means the money is going to the fighters for not just fighting, for fighting, broadcasting, event management system, right? All of it. So money is going to all of them. A growing list of nations, including many European powers, turned down his request to help protect the Strait of Hormuz, after which the president said his asks were a test. Tumult within the Trump administration, too. The director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center has resigned, saying he cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Wow, the director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center has resigned because he doesn't think that he can actually take part in the war. Tiny Boney, well, musician, how you doing, man? You right? Kant's boss, director of the National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has since defended the president in a social media post. Earlier in the day, business operators salary with performance bonuses like NFL player fighter owns the pie. Mm, sounds good. I mean, I haven't done this business, so I don't know if I fully understand this business, but sounds like a good business. But the discipline prevents huge paydays and bad friends from combining. Uh, okay. I mean, I'm not in favor of, like, the huge paydays anyway. I think the as long as the fighters are getting good money, that's kind of fine. I'm not in support of even in UFC. Like, I'm not in support of fighters making just crazy money. Like, as long as they're making good money, that's fine. There's no need for UFC fighters to be making like 14 million, 50 million in a fight. As long as everybody's making 2 to 3 million, that's pretty good actually. Kent's boss, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has since defended the president. Earlier in the day, Israel also said it killed another Iranian leader. Security Chief Ali Larijani, multiple countries in the Gulf, including Qatar and the UAE, have intercepted Iranian missiles today. Israel said that it is working to intercept several Hezbollah rockets. In Lebanon, the death toll from the Israeli offensive has climbed to more than 900. The health ministry reports. Trump's director of the national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has come out in defense of the president after her employee, National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, resigned in opposition to the war in Iran earlier today. Is to compete with the UFC and see who the best fighters really are, who could be active duty military and fight with your face blurred or AI'd. And if you're the best, you still see current combat sports. That's pretty cool. Like, face AI, if they don't want to be in front of the cameras, like they don't want to be portrayed on the camera. Is that what it is? But they're actually fighting, so you're still gonna be recording like the actual fights, but the face of the fighters is like an AI face. Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to the but the best people will make the best disciplines. Okay, okay, I get it. Ah, all right. I'm getting tired. I think I need something to eat right now. Necessary to protect the safety and security of the troops, the American people, and our country. Fame of fortune fighters. This fighting is for fortune. I mean, to be honest, Fame of Fortune is a TV show as well, where contestants spin a giant carnival wheel to win cash and prizes by solving hangman-style word puzzles. Who knows your channel is deadly, bro? Bro, I'm literally trying to grow my channel right now, to be honest. That's what I'm trying to do, to be honest. Give me any tips. I mean, I'm trying to record shorts. I want to do more lives, to be honest. I think that would be productive, to be honest. Just doing more lives, discussing more stuff. The domain name buyers shorted us. Dengit, is that the? Are you talking about Dengit.net? A mobile Git a client application for iOS designed for branch management stating commits. Yeah, I had to take a call. I'm sorry. We are the Great Depression. The slavers cannot be found. Dang it, the domain name buyers shorted us. We are like strippers buying houses. We're the 2008 mortgage crisis to non-fighters. We are the Great Depression the slavers cannot afford. We are the China USA survival. The slavers cannot be the greatest. The slavers cannot afford. We are China, U.S. is survival. Yeah, I mean it's a very business minded language, to be honest. Okay, back to Trump. Uh, Trump director of intelligence. Long live the fighters. Long live the fighters. Yeah, man, it's all about the fighters, you know. What do you think about Jake Paul, by the way? I think he's paying good money. He's paying better money than Dana White to actually to the fighters. Like fighters who are fighting on the Netflix card, they're somehow able to make a lot more money. Like Francis Ngannou is there now. Business came for fighters since the 1980s. Yeah, probably yes. Probably yes. If you talk about like the boxing fights in the 80s, I mean, people started making more money in 80s. Like you have Tyson making more money than any of the boxers that were fighting before. Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president and commander in chief. I think it would pay triple to get the trainers that hate social media pizzas. That hate social media pizzas? Are you referring to like the Pizzagate incident? Are you referring to the pizza from like the Epstein files? Uh, uh, Gabbard writes on social media as a commander in chief, he's responsible for determining what is and is not an imminent threat and whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops, the American people, and our country. In his resignation letter, Kent said, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Gabbard, who has a history of cautioning against war in Iran, did not mention the country, the conflict, or Joe Kent specifically in her post. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamic regime in Iran posed an imminent threat and took action based on that conclusion, she writes. Like all these samurai shit, Gordon Gecko, Wall Street, wild wolves that turned business into battle and fighters into a commodity. Movie Wall Street, 1987, Gordon Gecko. Gordon Gecko is a composite character in the 1987 film Wall Street and its 2007 sequel, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. What a man. Yo, sure, how's it going, bro? We're just discussing the business and the fighters, the money that the fighters actually make and how much they should be making. Dengue got goddamn fever dreams. The character of Gordon Gecko was not based on one person, but rather on a composite of real life financiers. Stanley Weiser, who co-wrote the screenplay with Oliver Stone, claimed that Gecko was partially based on corporate raider called like a disgraced stock trader Ivan. The Gecko effect highlights the fact that some corporate cultures may transmit negative values to other members in ways that make financial malfeasance significantly more probable. Oh, wow. So, like for other businesses to actually fail, and they may discuss the ideas that will make them fail. Released in 1987, Wall Street in is Oliver Stone's fifth feature film. This is the first fiction film to depict in such a widely documented way the American world of high finance at the time of the Great Deregulation during Reagan's presidency. At the scene of attacks in Iran, Lebanon, and Israel, as Israel, the US, Iran, and Lebanon's Hezbollah continue to trade missile attacks and airstrikes, we can bring you these photos which show how people are affected on the ground. Children are rescued from a building in Tehran, and displaced people are camping up in the streets of Beirut. Firefighters at the site of an Israeli airstrike in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Man, this is pretty messed up. Like Lebanon actually looks more like Palestine right now. Some of the areas of Palestine, maybe not exactly like this because Lebanon is still kind of attached, still standing. Palestine was completely down. Israel working to intercept rockets launched by Hezbollah. IDF's, I mean, Hezbollah has been able to do a lot of damage, to be honest, because I think the interceptors are not working as well as they used to. Where are you from, boss man? I am from Pakistan, bro, but I live in UK, London. Aviachi Andre says Hezbollah has launched rocket projectiles towards several areas in Israel. In parallel with interception efforts, the Air Force is currently targeting rocket platforms and additional Hezbollah infrastructures in various parts of Lebanon. Aradi wrote on social media, Shuriz, I am not an American. I've always wondered how you guys are so obsessed with economics. Shuriz, I'm actually not American. I sound a bit of American, but I'm actually not. I live in UK and London, so I am not American actually. He added that the IDF will respond forcefully to every threat to the state of Israel. Counter terrorist directives future Mega. What is going on with Mega, by the way? Mega is completely broken right now. It's fine, bro. Mega is completely broken. I mean, there's guys like Nick Fuentes, there's guys like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens that used to support Donald Trump, the biggest megas, but they've completely detached themselves from Mega. So Mega is not standing anymore. And then you have guys like guys who are owned by like Daily Wires, like I would say Ben Shapiro, the owner of the Daily Wire. Then you have Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh and those guys. They're still supporting Donald Trump and the war in Iran. So it's kind of pretty divided right now. Joe Kent has not been a prominent name in the Trump administration, but he held a senior role in counterterrorism intelligence, and his verdict is damning. He says the US government's basis for going to war, that Iran war was an imminent threat to the United States, was a lie. Currently living in Hatay, Turkey. Yo, Turkey, I know a few people from Turkey, but I don't know a lot of people. I have a colleague from Turkey actually. I don't know the city that he's living in. Hatay, Turkey. Is that Hatay is more like a northern area? Or it's like a southern or like a central? And is it like more like a mountainish area, or what's the specialty of Hatay? Okay, Hatay, Turkey, located in southernmost Turkey along the Mediterranean coast, is a culturally diverse province known as a center of tolerance, where various religious and ethnicities coexist. Its administrative capital, Antakya. I know Antalya, I don't know Antakya. Ancient Antioch is famed for its rich history, gastronomy, and the world's renowned Hatay Archaeology Museum mosaic collection. Okay, so we're talking a bit of history over here. We're talking a bit of like a rich history. We're talking about archaeological museums. Geography is in south, situated along the Levantine Sea, bordering Syria to the south and east, forming a panhandle of Turkey. Antakya and Iskandar are like major industrial ports. Culture and history is like known as a city of tolerance with deep history dating back to 9000 BCE. God damn it. Having been under Hittite, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman Empire. Under four empires. I used to live in Istanbul, but had to move to Hatay for my church ministry. I used to live in Istanbul. Istanbul is pretty cool. Is it quite expensive, by the way? Is Istanbul like very expensive? Just asking. Monster Trap, how do you think the pyramids were built? Dude, that is an interesting topic. Give me your opinion on the pyramids, by the way. My personal opinion is that we have aliens. We have aliens actually running this world, actually. So aliens are the one who are actually transforming the events on this planet, and they have been living among us for like a long period of time. So the aliens have been here since the dawn of the civilization. They've been here. And the pyramids had to be built by them or the giants or somebody else or somebody advanced civilization, but not this civilization. We cannot build the pyramids even now. Like even with the technology that we have, I don't think we're going to be able to build the pyramids to such accuracy that we could put stones over stones over stones, and those stones weigh like 2 to 3 tons, and then there's no distance between the stones. They're placed over each other so accurately that you cannot even put a credit card in between. Water systems. How were the water systems actually built? I'm not sure about it, to be honest. I mean, maybe the humans could do the water system, but but even the water system, like, right, the systems with the seas and the rivers and all of this. But that I think we can build, because recently I think we have done like the dams and stuff, right? Istanbul is pretty expensive unless you are a student. Yeah, man. I guess it is pretty expensive. So for the tourists, it's going to be expensive as well. I guess it's very expensive for the tourists as well. Then in that case, I mean, I feel like they charge you more than the Turkish people, because you're not aware. If you're going from like UK, they would assume that you're making a lot of money, and you would probably not even know about the rate. So it's good to go with somebody who's actually been living there, I guess. Some secret metallurgy consistent with a Pharaoh 10 meteoroid dagger to make rail track for helium assisted catapult glider for PCs and aliens. Are you giving an example of how the humans could have built them? Are you backing that fact up? Tutankhamun. Okay, Tutankhamun was the Pharaoh, was one of the only few kings known to be worshipped as a deity during their lifetime. He likely began construction of a royal tomb in the valley of from 1332 to 1323 BC, who ascended the throne at age 9. Who ascended the throne at age 9? That's kind of crazy, bro. Known as the Boy King, he's famous for his intact tomb discovered in 1920 by Howard Carter. He died at roughly 19 years old. Dude, he reigned for only 10 years. He became king at the age of 9, and he died at the age of 19, likely from malaria combined with bone diseases. Kenton, unlikely sister known as the young guy. I will check it out. Maybe if I can watch like a documentary on this. Okay, we're looking at his dagger. Dagger is an iron-bladed 13-inch weapon found on the mummy of Pharaoh, composed of meteoric iron, gold, and crystal. Scientific analysis confirms the blade with 11% nickel and cobalt originated from meteorite. Originated from meteorite. Holy shit. The 14th century BC artifact was like a rare high prestige gift from Anatolia, predating widespread Egypt iron smelting. I mean, that is pretty sick, to be honest. Like, that is pretty cool shit. Uh, Paula, listen, hello, Wolf. Hey, how are you doing, Paula? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, Paula, listen. How you doing, Paul? Yeah, I mean, I see the dagger, man. How has he been able to mix up that many elements? That's kind of like a cool thing. Even modern Smith have difficult recreating the processes to forge this dagger. I mean, that tells you that they have the advanced civilization or it was the aliens. My personal belief is that there were aliens, actually. There are aliens living among us. Even the inventions that we had, right? Even the inventions that scientists have actually been able to do, I think the aliens were the ones actually helping them out with every single thing. They're formulating the events. All of the events in this world have actually been formulated by the aliens. That's what I believe personally. And they could be hiding somewhere. They could also be shapeshifters. They could also be living among us as like in the shapes of people. You wouldn't even know, because if they can transform themselves into like the people, or they could just be hiding underneath the caves and stuff. And they're probably the ones actually running the countries, running the government. They're the ones actually making the bigger decisions. So the governments that you have, like Trump and those guys, are probably controlled by them. Do you like curry? I'm kind of fine with curry. Yeah, I do like it. Aliens are rad. Rad as like radiations, or do you like curry and bombs? Oh my god, dude! I knew you were gonna say something like that. No, I don't like bombs. I do like curry though. I do like curry. Uh, do you know about the Anunnaki theory? I've heard the name Anunnaki. Do I know about the Anunnaki theory? Probably not. But we can actually, I can actually search up the Anunnaki theory. Anunnaki theory. Okay, well, now we're looking at the Anunnaki theory, by the way. The Anunnaki theory, popularized by Zechariah Sitkin, proposes that ancient Mesopotamian deities were actually extraterrestrial beings from a hidden planet. Nibiru, I'm interested, dude, who visited Earth to mine gold. These ancient astronauts allegedly engineered humanity to aid their mining efforts before leaving, as theory rejected by mainstream scholars. So we're kind of slaves to them. We're kind of just slaves. Probably they were the ones who actually started slavery in the first place. Extraterrestrial origins. Proponents suggest that Anunnaki, a pantheon of Sumerian and Mesopotamian deities, were not gods but rather visitors from the planet Nibiru. Dude, by the way, this thing though, uh, radiolocal, radiological, right? No, I get it. By the way, sure is Anunnaki theory. It is very interesting. Why do you think all of the religions have depictions of like the aliens in a different way, or they have the depictions of like angels? They would depict the angels, right, and the gods, like different gods. Like if you look at the Hinduism, they have multiple gods, like millions of gods. I mean, they have the three, like the famous, the more prominent gods, which is like they have the Shiva, they have the man, I can't even remember, to be honest. Like I don't know what's happening to me. uh Three Indian gods. I mean, they have Shiva. Yeah, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer, right? So Shiva is the one who destroys the whole universe. He's the one who actually, and Brahma is the one who creates the universe. So every time, so there have been so many universes and there's so many timelines. So Brahma is the one who keeps creating the universes. Shiva is the one who keeps destroying the universes, and then you have Vishnu the preserver, who actually preserves everything that is happening in the universe. But there's so many Indian other gods, right? So many other Indian deities. There's like the evil gods. There's like the good gods. But where do you think they're getting the description from? Where do you think? You see a lot of statues of them, right? There's one with the elephants, there's one with the monkey, there's a lot of them. It could be that the people are actually creating them, but it could also be that people actually saw something. So people of that time actually saw something. Michelle Haddon, they're called demons. Or they could be called demons. Maybe. I know they've got the description of the demons as well. But I am guessing it is possible that the descriptions of the angels and the description of the demons and the description of the devil and the gods that we had in the past, where in case of the religion that you have multiples of them, it is possible that it was just the aliens, that it was just the aliens coming from different planets, and people had to describe them, so they would just draw them in a way that they could actually. They're all demons. Which ones? The Hindu gods? I mean, if you don't believe in Hinduism, I guess you can believe that they're all demons, but some of them were actually teaching very good principles. Like if you're looking at the top three gods, like the Brahma the creator and Shiva the destroyer, I think if you look at the teachings of them, they're actually teaching good messages. It wouldn't be a demon who would be teaching of the. No, the argument, even if you don't follow Hinduism, right? Like I'm personally a Muslim, I don't follow Hinduism, but what I can say is, I'm gonna say they were not gods, but I'm gonna say they were actually either good people or they were good aliens that were actually good, teaching good messages. But then the people actually mistook them as God. It could be something like this. As the creator of the universe, Brahma is responsible for the beginning of all things. He often depicted with four heads, symbolizing the knowledge and oversight of creation. Although he's rarely worshipped in contemporary Hinduism, who is deciding the principles are good? I mean, some of the principles, like if you follow any monotheistic religions, many of the good principles are common. Like, you look at all the main religions of monotheistic religions, like you look at Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. All of them actually teach you to not lie to each other. And I'm talking about like the actual scripture of the Old Testament. I'm not talking about the one hijacked version where you like, if you're a non-Jew, you can lie from a non-Jew, lie to a non-Jew, or you can steal from a non-Jew. I'm not talking about that scripture. I'm talking about the actual Judaism scripture. You cannot lie to anyone. You cannot defraud anyone. You cannot steal from anyone. You need to be nice to people. You need to take care of your neighbors. You need to feed the poor. These are very common principles, right? So if there's like a deity that is actually teaching you those principles, we can understand as human beings that they're actually objectively good things. They're good for the humanity as well overall. And I know the area between the good and the evil is actually very blurry, like who's going to be the one deciding what is good and what is bad. But we can objectively say that even from the biological point of view, that these things are actually good for the human beings. If I steal from you, you're not going to be happy about me, right? And then we might have a fight, and then something might happen. So biologically it's not good for the humanity, because now we hate each other. We're going to try to destroy, put each other down, destroy each other. But if I don't lie to you, if I am trying to grow you as my brother, if I want the best for you, that in the same case, we will have mutual respect, and we will have mutual friendship, and we'll try to grow each other, which is biologically also good for the humanity in the long term. The New Testament says Christ restores all things. So wouldn't all the fallen angels be saved by grace like any other sinner at some point in time? Um, I'm not sure about it. According to Islam, so I follow Islam, right? According to Quran, everybody will go to heaven at some point, but they will pay for their crimes first. So if you are a good person, but you have made a few mistakes, you might have to pay for your mistakes first, but then you will eventually go to heaven. So in that case, I think all the fallen angels will actually eventually go to heaven as well. I believe so. And by the way, the concept of hell and heaven, it might not even be that simplistic. Like we've been given description of, like, if you're in heaven, you're getting whores in heaven, which is like the fairies. So you're getting a lot of women, the virgins, and all of this. And the concept of hell is like you're going to get burned in the hell. There's fire and stuff. But it could just be a description or something, because people long time ago, this is the stuff they could actually understand. So if you're telling them you're getting virgins and stuff, this is like good stuff. You're telling them you're getting milk, you're getting fruits, you're getting all of this. This is what they could think about, because these were the things they were lacking. They didn't have as much food. They didn't have as much liquids. So they were fighting for the survival, right? So when you're telling them you're going to get the food, this is like the best thing for them. But for the people today, there might be other things that they actually want in heaven. Like if you ask about the kids, if you ask the kids of today, they might want something else in heaven. So I don't really know if it would mean exactly like, oh, you're going to get like lakes of milk and honey and all of this stuff. It could be something different. Maybe it was metaphorically used over there. The New Testament says Christ restores all things. So wouldn't all the fallen angels be okay? I've read this comment. That king is also in the book of Revelation in the New Testament. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Jesus Christ was actually a great prophet. I mean, Christ's message was amazing. There's also a miracle that he was born. I don't know to what extent it is actually true. He could talk when he was born. Actually, he could speak. Like people were actually questioning Mary when Christ was actually born, but when she brought him to the town, and people started questioning Mary, Christ actually started talking. That's a miracle. Science today cannot explain it. Maybe in 100 years, 200 years, we might be able to explain something like this. All right, guys, appreciate your time. Appreciate your time. Thanks for actually jumping on my stream. And if anybody didn't subscribe to my channel, thanks for that as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And I'm actually going to get off. I might get something to eat, but I will stream later on. I will have another stream. And I will discuss something. I might actually join in with my friend later on. But yeah, I'll try to keep you guys updated with what I'm doing. And please keep liking my videos and keep popping on my streams. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can actually drop it underneath my videos or on my next stream. So the Islamic heaven offers pleasures of the flesh. Why would you want or need those things in heaven? Dude, I'm talking about the timeline, right? So I'm talking about like 1400, 1500 years ago, and people were actually struggling for food. These guys did not have enough food, by the way. So when the concept of heaven actually came, it was because people could actually understand it. Like you talk about like the lakes of milk, the lakes of honey, the fruits, and all of this. Because people at that time, they needed that. They were literally dying because of it in the Arab culture. So I think heaven actually means something good, that you would be rewarded for something. So it was kind of like a metaphor. It might be something, maybe heaven is something that you desire, whatever you desire. Like if you right now, because we don't have any depravity of food, we have the food, right? We have the basic needs. We can actually feed ourselves. So it might be something else that we want. So it would be something that that you want, to be honest, that you were deprived of in your life. It might be something like that. Why would you need a friend in God? Mitch, awesome stream. Thank you, Angio. By the way, thank you guys. I'm gonna get off, but yeah, thank you very much. If there is any questions, I will answer them in the next stream. Cheers, man.